everybody, and welcome to my third trip of my YouTube channel, and this time we are going to the Bahamas. We took off from the snowy, cold Canadian weather on a flight to Nassau, and our flight is about 3.5 hours, I would say, long. Obviously, we wore masks on our plane ride, and we were lucky because nobody was sitting on our row. I'd say the flight was about 70% full, so there were quite a lot of seats that were empty. Then we landed in the nice warm weather just about in 3 hours and picked up our bags and headed towards the hotel. We are staying at the Atlantis Hotel in Nassau. We actually hired a limo to come pick us up. I know, a little extreme, but I haven't sat in a limo since like my high school prom, so I was pretty excited. And as you can tell, I went with my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my brother-in-law, and my husband beside me, looking very relaxed. For some reason, the tint was pink out the window, so it was hard to record the city as we were driving. But as we got to the hotel, they actually wanted to see our negative PCR test, and they wanted to see who was checking in and all the details there. So very strict just before you enter.
Take it off, take off something, take it off, take off something, take it off, take off something, I throw it out.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Head, shoulders.
So we just landed at the Atlantis. We were stuck at the entrance because they couldn't find our reservation. But it's beautiful weather here.
You could be short or you could be tall. You could be big or you could be small. She don't really care, she just want all. Girl start racing me on the wall. So what tell the girl? Tick it and tick, tick, tick it and tick. Tick it and tick, tick, tick it and tick. Tick it and tick, tick, tick it and tick. Tick it and tick it and tick it and tick. Tick it and tick, tick, tick it and tick. Tick it and tick, tick, tick it and tick. Tick it and tick, tick, tick it and tick. Tick it and tick, tick, tick.
So we were just checking in the hotel, and the lobby is beautiful and so grand. They had a few Christmas decorations and decorated the lobby. We actually got some free water bottles. They have fountains all around the hotel, and they recommend you use this instead of wasting plastic bottles because obviously, as you know, Atlantis has a really big marine life on the resort. I think they say it's the largest open aquarium in the whole world. So it is an open aquarium, and I'll show you from the view of my hotel that there's no cover on the aquarium, that you can see the sharks from the top. So yeah, once we got our keys, we headed towards the Royal Tower, which we were staying at, and only the Royal Tower is open at the time I went. The rest of like the Cove, the Coral, and the Reef Towers, I think they are called, are actually closed. So the lobby was beautifully decorated, and as you can see, there's like nobody there. It was pretty empty, and there's like one or two person around. So here is the room. On the right side we have the bathroom, and as you walk forward, you'll see the beautiful view.
Out the view.
And there's me talking over me.
OMG. This is insane. Oh.
I just came down to the lobby to look at the arena while we wait for the restaurants to open up because they open up around 5 o'clock for dinner. But let's go see the fishies! So yeah, Atlantis, according to Google, has the largest open-air marine habitat. They have about 14 lagoons, 8 million gallons of ocean water, and more than 50,000 animals in the resort. So they have like an inside tunnel that you can walk through to go out and in and watch the fishies, and it was really nice and exciting. Here I am showing you the rest of the hotel. These are the flying fish, sorry. And a really nice view here. The resort is pretty big and very tiring if you keep walking, but it's beautiful, really nice, so many swimming pools. This is the Royal Tower that I'm showing right on screen right now. This is where we're staying, and I think this is the only one that was open. The balconies, I believe, are the suites, and the rest were not. 4:30, and the resort is literally empty. I don't know if people are not here because of COVID or things shut down at 5. A lot of swimming pools shut down at 5, but it is definitely very empty now. So you can walk around without your mask because there's nobody here. And it's open in the air. And it feels good, nice and warm. Right now we are just looking for a place to eat. But the dinner opens at around 5 o'clock. So we're just gonna go and so yeah, we decided to go to Carmen's for dinner, and it's a family style menu. So everything in menu comes in large portions, and we got calamari, some garlic bread, some chicken, shrimp, and lots of pasta. Hi everybody! So there seems to be a lot of questions about traveling during the pandemic and how it's like and coming to the Bahamas. So first and foremost, I'm going to talk about the cases in Bahamas, and there are on a daily like 10, 0, 8. That's what we've seen. That's why we made the decision to come to Bahamas. And a lot of countries require Canadians to be quarantining, and obviously we didn't want to go on vacation where we have to quarantine because Canada was taken off the safe list as of like October 2020. There's someone at the door, and I will continue this after. So since Canada was taken off the safe list of a lot of countries, it was hard to find somewhere to go. Anyway, we were looking at the Caribbean. Obviously, we didn't want to take a long flight because we didn't want to be close to people for that long in the flight. So we found Bahamas, Aruba, and I think Turks and Caicos. Then we decided to come to Bahamas because the cases were very low. And so somebody came in the room and I had to step out, so I recorded it later. But we just took some time the whole day to walk around the resort, and it's so beautiful. The water is so clear there in Bahamas. We also got a chance to meet and greet with the dolphins. I touched a dolphin. They feel like rubber. It's kind of weird, but they're so cute. Hi everybody. So I got cut off at that point because somebody came inside the room and I had to figure out what's going on. Anyway, so as I was saying, obviously it's risky to travel, and I totally get that, but I do want to point out that Bahamas has very limited cases, and before you go on the plane you have to get a PCR test, and then you have to apply to the Bahamas website for a health visa, and once they approve, you can come into the country. And in the Canadian airport has temperature checks. People weren't really social distancing at the airport, but whatever, that's fine. And then when you're on the plane, that is the only time I feel a little risky. But if you have your mask on the whole time, it's fine. Our flight is about 3 hours long, and we actually got here quite early. Like I think it was a little delayed, but the pilot caught up. And when we got to the Bahamian airport, the Nassau airport, they also had temperature checks there. They asked for our health visa. They also asked for the PCR negative test. And then when we got to the Atlantis hotel, they wanted to see the negative tests for all the people that are checking in. And even the driver, so the driver who was dropping us off had to have a negative test. Once you're at the Atlantis, they have created a safety bubble that they call, and you cannot leave the property. And if you do leave the property, you have to come back with a negative test, even if it's for a few couple of hours. So they have assigned I guess a nurse to do a test on site, and then you go to your room until your results come back negative. Now that is the rapid antigen testing. You don't have to do the PCR test, but that one also determines if you are COVID positive, I believe. So it's my day 1 here, and so far I have received an email from the Bahamian Tourism Company to fill out a survey. And basically it had like 6 questions if you have been in contact with anybody, or if you have any symptoms. So that's what the survey had. Where'd you go?
Are you doing
So when people, obviously it's risky, but so far I felt quite safe. I would even say I'm feeling safe enough to not wear a mask, because I'm always almost outdoors, and if I am indoors, the capacity of there's such less people at the hotel that no one is even close to you. They're walking with a distance, so you're never breathing that close to each other, or you're never in close contact. So far I felt very safe. So this is the view from my hotel. I think it's the water view when you book the hotel, and the water that's the closest to me, right below me, that is actually the aquarium, where you have fish, sharks, you have stingrays, you have turtles. I don't even know what's in that water, but there's a lot of animals. And here's just us walking around the resort, trying to find places to take pictures. This is a gorgeous view. It's actually near the Predator Lagoon, and this is where the scary sharks are. And here's one. I don't know the name of this. Let me ask my husband. What was the name of the shark? The one that was at the Predator Lagoon. Hammerhead. Yeah, this is where the hammerhead that eats everything. So stay away from there. But yeah, that was my trip to Bahamas, and I just wanted to add, every tourist in the Bahamas has to actually take a test every 5 days, so be prepared to take another test on your 5th day if you are going for more than 5 days. And here we are back in our cold Toronto. Snowy weather. It snowed on Christmas, and I'm happy to be home, and we're gonna start quarantine for 14 days. All right, thank you guys. Please like and subscribe to my channel.